Okay, I'm live. I'm live. Good. Thank you, Ronan. Okay, good morning. Happy Thursday. Wow, the week is just trucking along like a freight train, at least for me. I don't know about you, but man, for me, it is just moving. Lots of good stuff going on. I hope for you as well. Today, I believe we had a cut and paste on our topic. So if you're here for messaging, go back and watch yesterday's call because that's what we talked about yesterday. Today, we are going to show you an absolutely live example of how we create a list inside of LinkedIn of people we want to connect with. And this is, when I say a live example, we actually have a client who we spoke with a couple days ago, and we are pivoting their target audience. And so we're going to show you how we do that. So before I get into that, though, I want to bring on my co-host, Ronan Rahman. I'm sure it's the bottom of the hour now. Hi.
It is. Yeah.
This is going to be a working training because we're actually getting work done for us and our client while teaching. So
yeah,
kill two birds with one stone.
Well, it's the equivalent of looking over our shoulder as we do our work.
Truly,
right?
It truly is. So for those of you that are here or watching the replay, this is a really cool training because we're literally going to show you what we do, and how we do it. So
right, and this is how we leverage our time.
Exactly. I think we should do this on all of our trainings. So we got to figure that out.
Anyway, I'm going to scoot out of here, and then let me know when you're ready to share your screen, and we'll share it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory first because we are doing an actual live example. I don't know if our client is watching this right now, but we have a client. His name is Sergio Chavez. He's a brilliant online marketer. He does Google advertising and Facebook advertising and YouTube advertising. He does all of our advertising for our businesses. He's just great. I've been working with him for years, and he also is a client of ours. And we've been working a campaign for him for the last few months in the healthcare space, because he does a lot of work in the healthcare field. He also does a lot of work in the e-commerce field. And so we talked about pivoting and shifting his campaign from healthcare over here to e-commerce. And so we are going to actually create a list of prospects for him right now during this training of e-commerce people that work in e-commerce, that could become clients of his for his media. So Ronan, why don't you go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to pop on over and show how we go about doing this. I started it ahead of time, so I'm going to go refresh this because we'll start from the top. So first I'll show you how you might go about doing that using the free, standard version of LinkedIn. And then we're going to quickly move over and switch to Sales Navigator, which is really where you should be building these lists anyway. So, the kind of business that makes sense for him, and the kind of person or job title for what would make sense for him is someone like an e-commerce manager, or an e-commerce marketing manager, or an e-commerce director, something like that, or e-commerce marketing director, something of that nature. So I'm going to start here and just type in e-commerce manager into the basic LinkedIn search, and you'll quickly understand why we prefer Sales Navigator over the free search in here in a moment. So we have 737,916 results across LinkedIn that come up with results for e-commerce manager. Here's some individual people. Here's someone that works at Zappos, something called bulksupplements.com, a company called Contexo or something. I'm not sure what that is. Zappos you probably heard of. That's a little bit bigger of a company than Sergio would probably be targeting, just to be, not that he couldn't do a great job for Zappos. I'm sure he could do a brilliant job for Zappos, except they have an internal marketing team, so they probably wouldn't be hiring Sergio as a consultant for that. And then down here, there's even job results for e-commerce manager. And that's not what he's looking for necessarily, although that could be interesting for him to follow up with companies that are looking to hire people, right, internally. Maybe they would consider hiring him instead as a outsourced resource. And here's some others. E-commerce manager at Pluggable Technologies. I don't know what that is. e-commerce advertising manager. That's a good title for somebody. So a lot of companies, even though they'll have somebody designated in e-commerce that call themselves marketing manager, e-commerce media manager, they'll still outsource some of the heavy lifting to a company like Sergio's company to do the day-to-day work. So there are a lot of people here that have identified themselves as e-commerce marketing or e-commerce managers. And so that's good. The problem here with the main search, though, is it's difficult to filter. There is one thing we can do to filter here, and that's using a Boolean command. So I'll show you that. My favorite is the Boolean command word and, A-N-D. And if you type the word and after, as part of your search, it tells LinkedIn that you want to include in your search results both what's on either side of the word and. So I'm going to type in the word, how about marketing? So now it's going to look for people that match e-commerce manager and marketing. And let's see what happens. It'll probably reduce the number of results it did down to 541,000. And so these people here might be more suitable for what Sergio is looking for. And you can stack these Boolean commands. Like you can go e-commerce marketing manager and marketing and even a geographic area, like let's do Los Angeles example and see if it pulls people from Los Angeles. So if we were targeting the Los Angeles area, you can see how we could do that by using these Boolean commands right within the free search bar that is provided to all of us, whether you have a paid or non-paid account of LinkedIn. So I wanted to share that with you because we may use those Boolean commands as well within Sales Navigator, which you can also do. But let's cut to the chase here. Let's go to Sales Navigator and actually build a list here for Sergio that we will use as for his LinkedIn marketing. So let's head over. Here we are, Sales Navigator. With Sales Navigator, there's really two ways to search using Sales Navigator, two main ways. One of them is leads, and the other one is called accounts. And if you, I'm going to close that little message. If you click on this all filters link here next to the search bar in Sales Navigator, you'll see lead filters and account filters. And because we're looking for people, we are going to use the set of lead filters that they provide, which are a bit different from the account filters that they provide. So let's go click on lead filters and we'll start our process there. And again, same thing. I'm going to type in e-commerce manager in the keywords area, and it's going to maybe look at, give me some other suggestions here. I'm going to ignore those suggestions for now and just see what happens if I start with that. And you'll see in the upper right-hand area of the screen that it's going to keep tally of how many total results throughout LinkedIn it's finding. And here's 580,000, obviously way too many to run a campaign for what we do here. So we're going to narrow by geography first. Let's just choose United States and see what happens. Okay, that's better. It halved it. So we're down to 240,000, still far too many people. Let's see what else we can do to narrow in on a sweet spot for Sergio. Sergio tends to work with small to mid-sized companies. So I'm going to scroll down here and you'll see one of the filters they have is company headcount. And that's a good way to narrow down like the size of the company, right? That you might want to work with. So I'm going to click on that and we can narrow it down by self-employed people. That's not his sweet spot. He's more of like an 11 to 50 or maybe a 51 to 200 sized person company. So let's just use 11 to 50 as our list for today. And now we're getting down to a result that we can start to manage. So 30,000 results, still a bit large. Another way we can filter for Sergio would be, there's a couple different ways. One would be the type of position or the function that the person has within the e-commerce company. So if I click on function, you'll see that there's business development, marketing, operations, and sales, and all these different things. So for Sergio, marketing makes a lot of sense, right? Because those people that are in marketing are going to be the ones that are at least part of the decision-making process to hire someone like Sergio. So I'm going to select marketing. And now we're talking, we're down to 7,000 results nationwide. I'm liking that size of a group to, on this front end filter to work with. But let's do one other thing. And one of the filters I like about the lead area is the years of experience. We find we get a better result when we are reaching out to people that are not brand spanking new into their job. So you can sort by two ways. One would be the number of years that they've been at the company that they're working for, and also how many years of experience do they actually have. And so let's go look at years at company. And I'm going to assume somebody that's been at a company less than a year may or may not be able to make a decision. So let's go at least 1 to 2 years and more. So we're going to go 1 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 10, more than 10. And that'll narrow our search down a little bit more refined. Now we're down to 4,500 results. I'm liking that a lot. And I think I'll leave it there. I'm not going to use years of experience. I think the years at company is a better filter for what we're looking for here. And I don't think I'm going to use any other filters, but you can see like there's just a lot of choices here. We could also go by industry. Like if we wanted to narrow it down, that's actually not a bad idea for him. So maybe we'll do retail, apparel, health and wellness, information technology he does well in, financial services. Let's see here, all of these areas. That may be a little bit too narrow. So I'm going to, because now I have 708 results, and that's not very big. So I'm going to not use this filter after all. So I just wanted to see what would happen. So some of this is like kind of playing around a little bit and seeing what happens to the results as you add more filters, right? Because every time you add another filter, you're narrowing your search further and further. So I'm going to leave it here. Let's hit the search button and see what comes back. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so let's see here. We got Derek Downs. He's a CEO at the Downs Agency. I have no idea what that is. It looks like he came up in the search because before he has a role as e-commerce director. So this person may or may not be a good fit for Sergio. I don't know. It really depends on what kind of agency Derek runs. If he runs an agency that hires people like Sergio, he might make a good fit, but he's questionable. Let's see here. Director of e-commerce, digital marketing, crafts master hardware. That's looking pretty good. That sounds like someone that would be a good connection for Sergio. Let's look at this person. Founder of Polished E-commerce. I really don't know what Polished E-commerce is. Let's see. Provide support for 51 online storefronts. So this person might be a good referral source if she's powering other people's e-commerce businesses. So I would probably keep her on the list. Senior Director, Media Manager at Been Verified. Been Verified's mission is to make public records easily affordable and accessible. So if they do advertising, they're probably a good fit for Sergio. Bamboozle Home. So what I'm doing here is hovering over the company names and just reading the short description of what these companies are to get an idea as to, are these the kinds of people and the kinds of businesses that would make sense for Sergio? And you can see they all have that 11 to 50 employee size because that was part of our search result. Let's see, unique design to create beautiful pieces for your home and kitchen. Yeah, perfect. So this list overall looks pretty good. Shopify, maybe not so much. That's I don't know why they came up here. This is a 1,000 plus person company. This person might have come up because either they recently changed positions or maybe they have an exact match for our search in like a previous position, or maybe they have two positions. A lot of times we see people, let me just find out. I'm going to go click on just to see why this person showed up. Let's see, open link in new tab. So let's see why this person would be here who works for Shopify. So yeah, look, he's got 5 current positions. Okay. One of them happens to be Shopify. So this we see quite a bit. Current positions, he's got more than 5. So maybe this person on the side also runs an e-commerce business, right? So even though you're seeing Shopify, which is a huge company, it's a much larger company than what we're looking for, don't just automatically discount it, right? Because this person looks like they may have other influence in other businesses. So I would probably keep this person on the list to see what might manifest from it. So plus Shopify happens to be an e-commerce software for those of you that don't know. So just a couple of other tips there. So this is a pretty good list. One other thing I like about this list is if you look over here where it says posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days, there's right about 1,000 people. If I click on that, here are people, 1,000 of them who we know are very active on LinkedIn and are more likely to respond to our connection requests and our messages and our appointment requests. So I would probably start here with this subset. So I'm going to go save this actually, so I don't lose it. So I'm going to put keyword. This is how I save things, by the way. Keyword e-com manager. and then I put a pipe symbol, and I'm going to put US, so I know what geography. I'm going to put 11 to 50 to remind me the company size, and what else was defining? Oh, 1+ years experience at the company, and marketing as the focus. That way, it gives me a little bit of sort of understanding as to what is in this search term. And then the last thing I'll do is I'm going to put 30 days, because that indicates to me that these are the people who posted something in the last 30 days. I'm going to save that search, and I will duplicate this into Sergio's account, and this will be our new list that we reach out to for Sergio. So thank you for following along. Thank you for allowing me to get some work done while we were training here today. And I'm going to come back to full screen here and bring Ronan on for some commentary.
That was epic.
Was it epic or what? Right? And I just got 15 minutes of work done. Woohoo!
Yeah, no, but it demonstrates the power and imperfection of that, because, you know, sometimes maybe people don't close out their old job. They might add a new job, and then they don't go back and mark themselves as not, you know, the ending year for their previous job. So it is kind of crazy, and you don't know sometimes how to address them. I mean, like, what do they actually do full time? Yep. But even as imperfect as it is such a powerful tool for you know, making all the connections with LinkedIn that you possibly can. So I think it's just, you got to.
Yeah, well, and it's not just one point of clarification. It's not about making as many connections as you can. It's about being as efficient as possible.
Yes.
But also don't get too overly judgmental about making your own decisions as to what might be a good relationship. I know time is of extreme value for all of us, which is why what we recommend, even when you're setting up an initial appointment with someone you've just recently connected with on LinkedIn, is we recommend a short 15-minute max call. And that way you are using your time wisely and efficiently, as well as you are respecting the other person's time. And during that 15-minute call, you'll know whether it makes sense to actually schedule yet another call or not with that person. So we don't recommend an hour conversation on that first call, because that's just a huge investment of time on a relationship that just might not make any sense in business. And so why invest that kind of time on the initial call? So that's why we highly recommend that 15-minute. We call it a 15-minute quick chat. So
all right. Well, if you have any questions about anything, leave the comments. We circle back and we'll answer them. And if you want to learn more about what it is that we do and how we do it, and maybe do it for yourself, we are having a live event, are we not, Brian?
We are, yes. So if you want information about that event, put your information at guaranteedappointmentslive.com, and we will get you all the details for that. It's a 2-hour deep dive workshop where we go through our entire process front to back and unpack really everything we do to generate sales appointments for ourselves and our clients. It's a workshop. It's not just a,
presentation
seminar, right? Exactly. So it's an actual workshop. You get a workbook and the whole 9 yards. And then also tomorrow at 9:30, we are going to reveal our secret marketing weapon that we use. That's totally different than using anything digital, in fact. So tune in tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific. We'd love to share that with you. It's a really, really awesome and powerful tool to get someone to respond to you.
Yeah, it's like a hot knife through butter of the digital space.
There you go.
To cut through the digital noise. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow, and we'll get everybody tomorrow. All right.
Sounds great.